Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final part of this week's Copenhagen Dreaming. We are gathering at the summer court, where a confrontation is about to happen, apparently. I wonder why. It's not as if I've done anything to set that up, have I?
No, you're innocent.
I'm completely innocent. I'm utterly innocent. I'm always innocent.
Hear the sound of... How many people is it now? 300 and something people. How many people actually follow our channel now?
Quite a few, but yeah.
You can hear the sound of 352 people laughing in unison. Emotion.
Ye of little faith. In any case, you are at the summer court, and my guess is that at least in the case of Jonas, you don't look particularly happy.
Jonas looks like he's trying very hard to control himself.
Yes.
Does Felicia do the same?
Felicia is very concerned. She's not angry, she's not shouting, she's not, but she is very, very concerned. And she has told Jonas that she will let him handle this himself. But that he needs to be careful because anger is not necessarily going to solve any problem that he's got right now. And that she also says, I know that is not what you want to hear, but there you go.
That is what my rational side is saying.
Good, because it would be weird for me to tell you not to get angry. Well, you're allowed to be angry, but don't murder someone.
And I think Jonas has shared the letter with the rest of the motley.
So basically, you've all seen the same letter as well, and you now know that Jonas's father is, at least the name that of his father is Valdemar Kos.
Do you have any siblings then?
I'm guessing I had a half sibling.
Kind of dead now.
Interesting.
Well, we should try and find him.
Right. Let's go.
Right.
We approach the Duke's chambers or wherever he is.
Yes, and you are met. The Baroness is clearly not at home. She's not in any case. So you're not met by her. Let me just check to see who you are met by. Oh, right, of course. You're met by the other Baroness.
Oh my.
The other one? Oh, that one.
Yes, she is on her way out of the Baron's chambers with a ledger under her arm.
Hello, Baroness.
Hello, you look very intense, if I may say so. Are you sure you're in the right place considering your state of mind?
Yes, I think this is exactly where I need to be. Don't worry, I'm perfectly capable of controlling myself.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Well, the Baron is there, and the Duke is there. If you need to talk to him,
I would very much like that.
well, she moves aside and lets you enter.
I think Jonas has enough presence of mind to knock.
Yeah. Well, there's a brief pause, and then come in.
What time is it, by the way?
It's almost 10:30 in the evening.
Sonny nods politely to the Baroness as they, move past her.
Yeah. Good evening, Your Grace.
Good evening. What can I do for you at this late hour?
I think I would very much like you to read this. It was delivered to my mom from my dad not long ago.
He takes the letter and frowns as he reads it. Frowns somewhat deeper. Then he folds it up, hands it back to you, and says, "Very well. That at least explains your parentage, which is something I'm sure must... I would hate to use the word a relief, but I suppose that it must be nice to at least have a name for your father at last."
It's a small relief, yes.
Well, considering that name, that family name's associations here in Copenhagen, I can understand why you might feel a little apprehensive.
Yes, I was hoping you would be so kind as to explain why there is now a huge target on my back.
Because of a war that should have ended 50 years ago, to be honest with you. And believe me, I would have gladly been honest with you earlier if I had known that Valdemar was your father, but I didn't. Now I do. It does explain a few things. He was in a real hurry to get out of Denmark when he left. My goodness.
Why?
Because his father, my friend, during the war, was unhappy that he had married a non, or he was marrying a non-she. He hadn't married her yet. He said he had found a very, very nice woman, one that he had fallen very much in love with. I assume this must be your mother. And I don't think that sat terribly well with Ivar, who was nothing if not a traditionalist.
I have not heard the best of Ivar, no.
Well, he was a ruthless warrior and a very loyal friend. And I say was because he's been dead for some years now.
Are you certain?
Considering I buried him myself, yes.
And do you know what happened to my dad?
No, I don't. I was there when Ivar came home from abroad. He wanted to reignite the war. He wasn't satisfied that... He wasn't satisfied that the she did not control everything. He wasn't happy that I had made any concessions of any kind to non-nobles. And he wanted to... Well, I shall spare you the exact verbiage that he used to describe what it was he wanted to do to commoners.
Don't. Yeah, I've already seen.
Yeah. He insisted on going back to war. I told him that that was completely out of the question. He didn't want to listen, so I pulled rank on him. That settled things for a little while, for a few years. He had a family of his own. His wife died giving birth to his second child, a daughter. You already know about his firstborn. After all, Valdemar is your father.
Mm.
And yeah, years after that, I managed to keep him under control for years. And I do mean under control. It was not easy. It put a very severe strain on our friendship. Very severe strain on our friendship. And I eventually found that I couldn't control him any longer. He had raised his daughter in much the same set of beliefs that he himself held. She had a knighthood. She controlled Stoid at the time. And she fell. Not long after having given birth, she died in a single combat situation against Baron Steele. And that son was Julian. So he was your cousin.
I see.
Everything fits together now with this letter. The whole thing about Valdemar is that he was not terribly happy about... Well, he wasn't sharing, let's put it that way. House Beaumain tend to be secretive. His first wife was Beaumain. He married into the house. Yeah.
Did he have any children?
With her?
Aside?
No. She was pregnant when she was killed. You are his only heir.
Does that mean anything?
At this point in time, unfortunately, it probably only means extra problems for you. Because of your family relation, I can guarantee you that the Shadow Court are going to be coming for you even harder than if they ever find out, and I am not telling them. But if they ever find out, then yes, you will be in very serious danger.
I have only told people I trust.
Good.
But what about my mom?
Well, what about her more precisely?
I'm not sure I agree with my father's assessment that ignorance was the safest option.
I'm going to have to say I do agree with your father's assessment in that case. If the Shadow Court had known about her or had learned about her, and they might very well have done so, they would have come for her. They would have tortured her the moment they had any reason to believe that she knew anything. But the fact that your mother, as we all know, is not Kithane, she's not Kinane, means there would have been no point in them trying to hurt her, because she wouldn't have known anything.
Do you think it would be a bad idea to have her in the know now?
Yes, I do. She's just as vulnerable today as she was back then, except now she probably can't lead them to Valdemar. For all I know, he's no longer alive. I don't know if that's the case, he says, I have to be honest. But his father came home after having searched far and wide for him. He never spoke of the hunt that he had undertaken, ever. I couldn't bring him to talk about it. But while he may no longer be a target, you are. You're already in danger because you're she. If they know you're she, descended directly from the man they hate the most, you're going to spend the rest of your life running.
Yeah. Do you know why the package would arrive now, of all times?
No idea. It might be that he had arranged for it beforehand. I mean, you are coming of age.
It was filled with glamour.
It was also addressed to his mother.
I suppose he wanted to, I don't know, make her remember one more time.
So she'll forget again.
When the glamour wears off, yes.
Jonas looks distraught. Clearly he wants to tell her.
Jonas, at least at the time, I think the Duke is right. You saw how distraught she was. And if telling her suddenly endangers her even more, then you're gonna have to run and she's gonna have to run.
But if they find out she's going to be in danger anyways as a way to get to me, at least if she knew, she could take precautions.
But so far, no one but us knows. Well, the one who sent that box, but that was your dad many years ago.
Also, he says, the Duke says, the moment the Shadow Court starts killing non-Fae, the moment they start hurting non-Fae or attacking non-Fae, the police are going to get involved. And they don't want any more attention brought onto them by that kind of authority than anyone else does.
So
They would detest your mother for having had anything to do with their rival and greatest enemy, but they wouldn't actually they wouldn't actually harm her. You have to remember, when it comes to violent crime, the police in this country have a very, very, very high rate of solving crimes like that. Very high. They don't want to spend time in prison. It's very banal.
aren't there ways we can hurt people without it ever being visible as a crime?
I suppose there is always that, but for our powers to have the maximum kind of impact on her, she would at least have had to be enchanted, which is what she is right now. But that'll wear off.
Anyone else feel free to chime in. I think Jonas is processing.
At least until we've solved the current affairs we have. There's still a whole lot of things we need to sort out.
So,
Jonas, for what it is worth, I am truly sorry that you had to learn this in this way. Had I known Valdemar was your father, I would have told you. But I had no idea.
yeah, I don't blame you. It's clear that he was very good at hiding it.
With a father like him, he probably had to.
Exactly. And again, it doesn't fall easily to me to say things that way. Valdemar's father, Ivar, was my friend for many years. He lost himself somewhere along the line.
Do you know that we've seen things in the dreaming?
No? What have you seen?
How he treated his enemies.
Yes. I suppose you would learn of that one way or another, but I can't imagine seeing it in a reflection like that. Must have been a very pleasant experience.
It was mainly we heard it, we didn't see.
We saw the leftovers.
Yes.
Right.
Also there that It's also there that we found things like this, and Jasmine indicates the hockey sword that she has, and I don't know if
right.
Jonas still has his bow, because that actually has the House Dougal crest on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think he might have brought it along for this trip, probably.
It's the umbrella.
I suppose I shouldn't feel bad about having nicked this, then.
No, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. In fact, it's in a roundabout kind of way, it probably belongs to you anyway. But no, as I said, he lost himself somewhere on the path. That war was unspeakable, and crimes were committed by everyone involved. If you've seen what he did to his enemies, then I'm sorry you had to have that experience. If you want the full picture, you might want to go back to the dreaming and try to find out what the opposition did to us.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't pretty either.
Exactly.
War is basically not pretty.
Exactly. I'm not saying this to excuse what he did. I'm saying that in order to have a complete and full picture of what happened during that war, it's probably worth it.
Where would we go?
I would suggest starting near, down by the beach, by Aachen. Have you heard of that place?
Yeah, Viggo told us.
Yeah. Go there. Don't just look at the battlefield. Look at the camps, if you can find them. The army camps.
Do you know of a threat down there?
Of a threat?
A trod.
Trod.
Oh, a trod.
Whatever.
Sorry, a trod. No, but I do know of a trod that you can use here if you want to enter the dreaming from here. I have my own, and I would let you use it.
I think we should accept that, Jonas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever put us in the dreaming against our will to witness that did not necessarily have our best interests in mind.
Well, if we are to believe some of what Alice said, whenever he wanted someone to join him, he would show them what happened in the dreaming.
We should go look.
Yeah.
Very well. Oh, before you go, he says.
Yeah.
Does anybody here, you are all young and fit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you all know how to use a weapon. Is there anyone here who does know how to swing a sword or shoot a bow or something that doesn't have a weapon already?
Yeah, me. I have these throwing knives, but that's about it.
Yeah, that won't last you very long, he says. He does give you this sort of, you realize he's finding it slightly distasteful talking directly to you, but he's got to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Show them your care, show them your care, damn it, show them your care, not him. Show them your care!
exactly,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he goes over to one of his bookcases, and above it hangs a weapons rack, and he takes down a sword and swings it a couple of times. This is as good now as it was when it was originally forged, he says, and holds it out for, it's in he puts it back in the scabbard and he hands it back to, or holds it out so that August can take it.
Take it.
Yep.
Pull it out of the scabbard and just checks for the balance and things like that.
Yep, it's got a very good balance. It's a fine weapon. And he nods and says, "Well, you're probably going to need to learn how to use weapons, all of you, eventually. I'm just saying that as a precaution, because the dreaming can be a dangerous place. Just be careful where you're
In
going."
that case, do you maybe have something that's fire retardant? I've been set fire to way too many times now.
I don't have that right here, no, but I could probably arrange for something to be made for you. You're talking about armor, I take it.
Anything that makes it less ouchy when I get set on fire would be nice, yes.
Oh, I'll look into it, definitely.
Thank you.
Your
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Which house do I belong to?
Your father was Beaumain. That means you are Beaumain. Well, your father and mother. Sorry, your father and your mother wasn't, obviously. That was he never did get to marry her.
Okay, that's a small comfort.
Yes, I understand that being a member of House Dougal, considering what you've learned, is maybe not top priority.
Not currently, no.
No, I don't blame you, he says.
Thank you for your honesty.
You are welcome. And if there's anything else I might be able to do to help you, please do let me know. This has put some things into... this has completed a picture for me as well. A picture that needed a pretty vital... It's like having a jigsaw puzzle, and you have 2 pieces missing.
Yeah.
And you just handed me one of them.
What's the other one?
The other one is where your father is now. If he's even alive.
Have you low-key kept looking for him?
Have you what, sorry?
I just choked on my own speed. Sorry. Have you low-key been looking for him ever since?
To be honest with you, I stopped after a while. I didn't know where to look. I had no idea where he had gone. All I know was that he left the country. I tried putting out, the word that if anybody knew where he was, but all he needed to do was change his name. Go under an assumed name, and I would never know where he was.
Was he a good person?
Yes. He was a very decent person. He cared. He cared about others except himself. And he disagreed very strongly with what his father was doing. Or had been doing.
I guess we have that in common.
I don't think that your father would have loved your mother if she had had that kind of values. I think she's done a good job at raising you.
She's terrific.
Well, one day I might have to meet her.
I'm sure she'd be all over you.
Oh, we shall have to see, won't we?
I'm guessing you recognize this then. Sonny takes out the picture and hands it over.
Oh, yes, that is definitely him.
Yeah.
That is a very good likeness of him. Is that your work?
Yeah. After the whole talk about, lineage and
Yes.
Jonas not really knowing, he asked his mother to, recount what she remembered of him.
Of course. Well, thank you for bringing all of this to my attention. I do appreciate it. He goes over to door leading into his private, into his bedroom. Basically, he does a knock, a specific knock on the door. Not quite like that, but yeah, you get the general idea. And he opens it, and you, instead of looking into another room, you are looking straight into the dreaming. You're looking into a grassy field. As I said, I would let you use my own trod.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, then.
Let's go witness some atrocities.
Just what we need to finish the night off.
So, do you guys head in there?
I do.
Sonny does too.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yes.
Find a little sword thingy.
Curiosity is very horrible.
It's a special sword of any kind.
It is, I think if you find it in the book, it'll be listed as a longsword.
Yeah.
Also,
Jasmine will send a quick text to her dad saying that Jonas picked her up and he's basically she's staying with him, which is why if she heads home, she won't be there. But that she's feeling better.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a message back saying that's okay.
Well, the fact that he responded in the first place shows that that he's okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
That reminds me, have we heard anything from Xenia?
Not yet. No.
And I'm guessing there's poor reception in the dreaming.
Very poor reception in the dreaming, yes.
Yes. If we just hold the phone up and wave it about in the air, eventually it'll pick something up.
Yes. Well, so you guys head into the dreaming.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
The Duke closes the door after you, and there you are. You have time to digest what has just happened.
Well, that complicated things a little.
This has been a very full-on evening.
I suppose I found out I had family, and that most of it is either horrible or dead, or both.
You're still you, Jonas. And you can still behave as you always have and be a good and decent person.
Thank you.
Speaking of good and decent people, let's go see what the less decent people do.
Yeah.
So, do we just walk from here to Argon?
Yep.
Yes, well, the amount of cookies I've been eating recently, I could use the exercise.
Yeah, probably me too.
I mean, you can always try whistling for a horse carriage.
If only that would work in here.
I am actually kind of interested in knowing how, because you know how Charlie and Agnes and August in specific, how you three react to the information, because the other three, of course, you know, once you learn of this letter, what you guys felt, if there's any reaction.
not outward, because what I'm thinking wouldn't be nice. So.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
But basically, his thoughts are boo-hoo, sorry for you, so your house and family is not what you want to. Boo-hoo, join the fucking club.
Ouch.
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a bastard.
Yeah, I mean, that's
It's absolutely cool.
That's just August. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty in character.
Yeah.
I think it's not as much as, you know, the... Look, if anyone knows you're dead! I think it's more that part he's a little miffed over.
Charlie has a very measured response to it.
All right.
And even tries, out of some form of respect, not to make any smirky comments.
Oi! For a knocker, that's pretty impressive.
Mhm.
Well done, sir.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done indeed. Oi,
A
the dog says.
little Mildord may have snuck in there, but that will be it.
I think Agnes just gives him a hug, and it will be all right. And at least you know, and at least you actually got to see to show your mom the real you. Sort of
Yeah.
go towards the positive parts of it.
Oh, she's so cute.
I think Jonas is very receptive to hugs right now.
Yes, let's have a group hug in the dreaming. Why not?
I think she did it when she read the letter at the court.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went in to see the Baron.
Right.
As a sort of initial, oh, you're hurting, hugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. I think actually once they're in the dreaming, before they start going, Jonas will look to Charlie and say, by the way, Charlie, I'm sorry if I offended you earlier. I'm very thankful for this, he says, and gestures to the armor. I didn't mean to make fun of it.
No problem at all.
Right.
Okay. So you guys are now standing on the green slopey hills of the Dreaming in Copenhagen, and you can see settlements and even a city in here. It's more medieval in appearance and not nearly as large as Copenhagen in general, but you can certainly but there is certainly a city there. But I think we're going to deal with that next time when we get back.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
For when we're in the dreaming, if it's all more medieval-like and such,
Yes.
can we be seen, and do we stick out in our present-day clothes and stuff?
You will stick out, but on the other hand, the point here is you're Fae, you're Cthane, so you know
Everything sticks out.
you are in your element here. The dreaming is your element. And even if your clothes look strange, then the chimera and so on in here, they will know why.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. All right?
Yeah.
Then I think we shall call it for tonight and be back with more Copenhagen Dreaming next time. That's in. It will be in a week. I was just for a moment. I was wondering if I was thinking if I had something next week, but I don't. So yeah, we'll see you back in a week.
See ya.
And you get 3 XP for tonight. No, sorry, you get 4 XP for tonight because that little piece of oh my god, family is worth 1 XP in itself. And then we shall see you back here for more, as I said. So from us here at CharismaToAC, bye.
Bye.
Bye.